Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Ultimate Ironman walkthrough video series, where I'm going to be stepping through the Ultimate Ironman guide on the wiki that I am creating. This will be a guide for any new or aspiring Ultimate Ironman players to get themselves going, establish a foundation of their account, and then they can go off wherever they want to go after that. So I just finished up Tutorial Island. I got myself a bond. I did all my settings. This account should have an authenticator already set up, so I'll be able to do Stronghold of Security. I even got the Ultimate Iron Man armor, even though it's not actually part of the guide. I just did it for the video. I probably won't hold on to it. So we are going to start off with some questing, and the goal is to get to the Wilderness Agility course. Now this is the kind of the crux of the early game of this guide is going to be the Wilderness Agility course rush. And the reason for that is the loot you can get at that course is just so good that it will fund, everything else we do. And you want to do it while you're low combat because, there are PKers out there. It's in deep wilderness and you can die. There are a bunch of PKers, even in level 40s combats, there's mid-level pures that can kill you, but there are vastly fewer PKers that can kill, level 3. I think we'll probably be level 5 or 6 combat by the time we get there, but there's not that many PKers that can kill you, and the loot there is incredibly good for an early game account like this. You can still die, but it's much less likely, and the loot is amazing. So also you get agility up, and agility is really valuable because obviously run energy, all that good stuff. So we are going to get moving with the steps. First thing we do is go sell some stuff. I've already sorted my inventory, so these should be the items I'm keeping up here. And we're going to go to the general store and sell everything else for a little bit of cash. Not that those arrows actually sold for anything. But this will get us started, be able to buy some food, buy some early game stuff. There we go. 62 coins, not bad. Alright, so now we're going to buy 2 buckets from the general store. Off to the races. That'll be combined with our bucket from the start. Now we have 3 buckets. And we're going to come up here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this armor because it has carry weight and I don't actually need it. There we go. Alright, we're going to pick up an egg. And we're doing Cook's Assistant. You're really actually just getting the bucket of milk for the Gertrude's Cat quest, but I figured, you know what, if you're coming all the way up here, you might as well get Cook's Assistant done, finish it out while you're doing it. Now, this section of the guide is going to focus mostly on getting to the Wilderness course. We're not going to be doing any fancy multi-questing. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of stuff right now. And that's because we're just going to remain focused. You're going to be able to do all that questing and everything later. You're going to be back to Lumbridge. You're going to be back to Varrock. It's not like you're never going to be in those places ever again. So if you don't get those quests and everything done right away, it's not the end of the world. And you're going to have higher agility. By the time we actually start questing more in earnest, you'll have 70 agility or more if you decide to go higher. And that will make your run energy much better. So we're just going to put off all that questing until after we get this early game grind done. I mean, it's still going to take a while, but we're gonna knock it out. Alright, so we got ourselves 2 buckets of milk. And this will be 1 for Cook's Assistant and 1 for Gertrude's Cat. And we're going to head back down into the Lumbridge Castle. Whoa! Wait. What just happened? I'm suddenly different. I am invigorated. I feel invigorated with knowledge and power from the future. Yes. Oh, hey Goblin. How you doing? Are you invigorated? No, he's just going about his day. Okay, guys, that's right. This is me from the future, and I am bringing you knowledge and words of warning and advice, things that I have learned throughout the guide and throughout my journey, and I will be coming back and editing these clips in to tell you things that you should do or my thoughts from the post-guide creation perspective. I probably will mention this in the introduction video as well, but this is for people who may have skipped the introduction video. Looking at you. So the very first thing we missed is that I did not buy a spade because the original version I did not do X marks the spot. But if you are following along in the text guide, you will have actually bought a spade in the first trip to the general store and may have noticed the discrepancy. But that is because we did not do X marks the spot in the original guide. But eventually I realized that doing that for early hit points experience was better, because you need a little bit of hit points experience to do the agility pyramid, because one of the course obstacles maxed it at 10, so we do that for a little bit of cash later on in the guide. So you need to be higher than 10 hit points in case you fail. And additionally, having a little bit of extra hit points at the wilderness course is really nice, because some of the obstacles you can fail, and when you fall down on the skeletons, they can hit you. They max hit 4s down in the tunnels, and you can get stacked at really easily. So having a few extra hit points levels is really helpful. So I'll probably show more of this, but you're going to go ahead and complete X marks the spot, even though the rest of the videos won't be doing it. I went back and did it later. And buy yourself a spade, do X marks the spot, and put it on hit points. The same thing will happen with Client of Corend later. This is a little while later, but you'll also be completing Client of Corend and putting those lamps on hit points as well. But let's go ahead and jump back into it, and you will see me periodically. Hopefully these steps flow smoothly, because I did them on a test account once, but I haven't done them fully all the way through. I kind of skipped some of the quests while I was doing the test account, because I CBA to do all the quests on just a simple test account, that I wasn't actually going through everything whenever I've already done that. Actually, for context, this is not really the first video in the series. I actually have a whole nother test account. This is Ultimate Ironman Walkthrough 2. There's actually UIM Walkthrough, just UIM Walkthrough, and I spent a lot of time on that account, but I eventually got to the agility section and realized that I'd kind of messed up by not going to the wilderness course right away. And that's because that account was about 45 combat or so, I think, and I kept dying to the pures, the mid-level pures. You know, they're not super frequent, but they are out there. And I was convinced by some people on Discord and some of my own testing that it really is better to just rush the course right away. I'll finish talking about that. We're gonna do Cook's Assistant real quick. Okay, we do that. There we go. We get some bucket of water here, and then we're gonna head over to Draenor. Yeah, so it's just worth it. The agility experience at the wilderness course is really good. It's basically on par with the Sepulcher up until 72, level 72. It's maybe a little bit lower experience, especially if you're looting and you're selling the loot to the general store. That takes up time, which does slow down your XP rates a bit, but the experience rates are still very good, and the loot you get there is insane. You get so many alcohols, so much cash. You get the blighted food, which isn't super important actually. We don't really care about that as much, but you could potentially use it in the future if you wanted to maybe go to Rogue's Chest or something. But we're not really caring about the blighted food. It's the alcohols that matter. The raw cash you can get from that course far supersedes anything else that I'm aware of that can be done early in the game with such low requirements, while also, you know, relatively efficiently training. So we're gonna go ahead and do it, and you might be more efficient if you're really a super efficient gamer. You could potentially try to wait on your agility and do Sepulcher and multi-skill while Sepulcher's going on, but realistically you get just so much cash from that course that I think it's worth it to still do it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling about that. We're gonna keep on going. We got ourselves some jugs of wine. We need to make sure you keep at least one of these jugs for Monk's Friend later. So you'll use these for food. You could get a couple more. I'm not too worried, but if you're not sure, you're not as confident, you could get yourself some more jugs of wine than that. You'll need them to get through the Stronghold of Security here in a little while. But I think 5 is going to be plenty for me. plus with our bread and our shrimps. And then, as I said, we're not doing anything here. We're just going straight to the places we need to go. We'll be back here in the future. We'll do a bunch of quests. X marks the spot and so on and so forth. You know, you could get those knocked out later. Right now, we're going to focus on what we need to get done. So we're going to go to buy a raw sardine. And this will be required for Gertrude's cat, because we're going to do a tourist trap to get our early agility. Even though we're kind of rushing, you could just straight up do rooftops from level 1. Where is it? It's down here. You could just do the rooftop courses, you know, level 1 to 10 to 20 and then so on. But it really is so much more efficient to just do the tourist trap and get those thing level 27 agility right off the bat. You will have to safe spot the mercenary captain. It's a little bit of a tricky thing to do, but we'll show you how to do it. But other than that, tourist trap is just the way to go for early agility. After that, we'll go to the Brimhaven course, and you can train there all the way up. Okay, so we got the raw sardine. Yep, now we're going to head over and get some sneakgrass. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just put on some music here and let it go. I like the in-game music, so we're going to enjoy that. And you're going to follow along the guide, and I'll let you know if there's anything relevant coming up. But we're just going through the steps. Nope. Did my music not working? There it goes. Now we can come up through here. Okay, we started the Knight's Sword, so now we're going to Clan Wars minigame teleport. Okay, we got ourselves 2 iron bars. We're gonna head down and do the Stronghold of Security now. You can get some cooked meat. I'm gonna turn this down. If you want, you can get some cooked meat for some extra food. For these doors, you can just spam click them and they'll let you through eventually. Yeah. I can get on the door. There you go. You don't even have to do the dialogues. You can just spam click the door. Okay, we now have our 10,000 coins. You don't need to go get the boots. You can if you want to, but they're eventually going to get dropped anyway because you can't hold on to them, and the boots of lightness are better. But if you would like, oh, I have to do this. I always make that mistake. It's not here, it's here. Yeah. There you go. But the boots are not really important, but you can choose to get them if you'd like. Okay. So now we are going to go start Gertrude's cat. This is going to be required to make the red berry pie for the knight's sword, so we're going to go ahead and knock it out. But while we're in Varrock, we're going to do a couple other things that we also need to get done. I have idle notifiers one. I don't know what that was. Okay, we got the Dougal leaf. Don't forget to do this, so you have to come back. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a staff from Aubrey. And then we're gonna continue the Gertrude's cat. Okay. So before we go up there, we're gonna go into the Varrock Palace and continue the Knight's Sword. Can you equip this? Okay. Come over here and grab this pie dish. Do not forget to grab the pie dish, because it's quite annoying if you don't. There's actually not that many ways to get a pie dish. You'd be surprised. Kind of hard to come by. So grab it while you're here. Okay. Gonna exit the palace now and then go to the sawmill. Alright, I'm gonna buy some nails from the sawmill. We'll need these in the future to complete Sleeping Giants, and we just happen to be right here. There's the kitten. Okay, now we're gonna head back into Varrock and buy some mind runes on the way. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this bucket and fill it up. You don't need the bucket, but it can be a little bit useful later. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go back. Grab the mind runes. Just blindly following quest helper over here. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and buy 300 mind runes. Should be plenty. You could get a couple more if you're worried, but you shouldn't need them. You only need them if you make a mistake. 300 already has extra in case of mistakes, so you should be good to go. And these will be to kill the bandit captain, or the mercenary captain, in the tourist trap quest later down the line. Just gonna wind strike him. They're gonna safe spot him and wind strike him to death. Alright, we're gonna go back and complete Gertrude's cat. Okay. We can, there we go, and we'll get rid of the kitten. I like to shoo him away right here because, you know, that means they're probably going to find their way home to Gertrude. Even though that it's a video game, but, you know what, they'll probably find their way home. Ah! And with my powers of future foresight, I can tell you that the kitten did in fact find their way home. Yeah, they even got some rats there. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the very first episode walkthrough. We're going to continue on in the next one, just jumping off literally right where I left off. And I will see you guys then. Congrats and welcome to your new Ultimate Iron Man account.